Dave Kallman, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. I mean, coming out a little left field a little bit here, but we spend so much time trying to define who you guys are and what you do. Can I get you to describe your personality, your approach to racing, and particularly how it compares to the guys you're racing for the championship?
My approach has been long races, trying racetracks, quirky racetracks, slippery racetracks have always been very good for me. I think that my background in off-road racing and being on the dirt kind of helps me in those situations. I see Denny's skill set and think that he excels on those tough situations as well. Seems to be a little bit more easygoing in a sense, from a temperament standpoint. He and I, there are some similarities there. I think Kevin, with his background growing up on short tracks and some weird tracks, he has been able to adapt as well. But I'd say the difference is the fact that he has a shorter temper. We've seen over the years than maybe what myself or Denny would have. At the end of the day, I think when you just look at performance in the tracks that we have in the chase, and especially these last two race tracks, I can't pick a favorite. I mean, we, amongst maybe some different personality traits that are different, you look at the teams and what we're capable of, we're all pretty damn close. So I think it's going to boil down to mistakes on the track, from a human standpoint of what goes on over the wall, and then also what goes on inside the race car and how people deal with the emotions and the pressures of this championship.
Okay, working through the list. We got David Newton, Steve Richard, and Jenna.
Yeah, Jimmy, David Newton, ESPN.com. When Kevin was in here earlier, he alluded to the fact that it probably wasn't very smart for the number 11 crew chief to be taunting you guys like it appeared he was. One, do you think that was very smart? And second, you really haven't mentioned Kevin that much. You've been talking about having to finish ahead of Denny. Do you think Kevin's kind of laying low and kind of enjoying what's going on between you two?
I don't know. I mean, the reason I'm looking at the 11 is he's the one that's ahead of us. When we were leading, I was looking back at both of them closely, and I know Kevin's right there. I guess with the 11 taking the points lead and all that's been made of it, it's been very easy just to talk about the 11 car, but the 29's there and serious. Again, I expected comments to be made after the 11 won in Texas. And believe me, we have used those comments as motivation inside Hendrick Motorsports. There's been plenty of references to the comments made. Guys are thinking about it during their sets in the gym when they're changing tires on pit stops. There's been plenty of emails internally. I mean, it's been a great motivational tool, and we certainly hope to show it this weekend.
Steve Richards with PRN. How's it feel to be in second place in the points?
Sucks. I don't want to be here.
Feel different?
Every year feels different. And with that in mind, yeah, it does feel different being here at this late in the game. We all know how special a run we've been on and how rare it is in sports, period. So in my mind, as the years have gone by, I've really tried not to get used to it. I've always tried to be fearful of it not being there. And I don't know if it's just getting myself prepared for the day there's a really big challenge or what, but I'm not as panicked as people may think, and I think a lot of it boils down to the fact that I know how good my race team is, and I know how good we're going to do here and in Homestead, and I'm just trying not to overthink it. Just go out there and do my job.
I mean, do you see yourself as the underdog now?
Hell, I don't know. I don't care. I'm not sure where I see myself. I know I'm down, and I need to get back on top.
Okay, we got Claire B., Bruce, and then to the track. Coming to you, Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. Obviously, with all the media portrayal of, everybody's comments, you've got to kind of stay not making comments that would infuriate people or whatever. But can you possibly keep the blinders on with all the attention that's been going on and the fact that, coming back and working on the points? Are you really able to just race and keep all of that out of there?
Yeah, I am personally, because as you guys know, especially when we get at the chase, I don't follow the coverage. I mean, it's just so easy to be persuaded from what really is important and what's on your mind that I don't get engaged, and I'm not involved with that stuff. I'm very involved with my team. I know where Chad is mentally. I know where my guys are, and that's my reality. That's what I need to worry about and focus on. So we are in a great place, and we're ready for these next two races.
Bruce Martin with SportsIllustrated.com. I got two questions. It really isn't that new for you because in 04 and 05, you were in positions where going into the last race, you could have won the title. Anything you learned from those two misses that might help you overcome it this year? And I have a follow-up to that.
Yeah, in both instances, kind of different routes to get to this same opinion. It's not over until the last lap in Homestead. Clearly, the 97 losing his wheel mid-race at Homestead led us to believe that it was maybe our day and things were going to work out. Well, we have a green-white checkered, a short run to the finish at the end. I don't think green-white checkered was in play at that time. And who's the car behind me when it counts? The 97. He wins the championship. So that one proved to me that it's not over until the last lap. Then at Homestead, with the 20 car, we blow a tire and wreck, and the 20 needed to finish like in the top 25 or something if we did things right. We had a great evening going, and the 20 ran terrible. And I still kick myself today for not coming to pit road, not getting the tire off the car because I felt, I had a problem and was slowing down on pace. And maybe we could have recovered from going down a lap and put more pressure on the 20 and come back and finish like we needed to. But we didn't. And I know that if we stay in the game to the last lap at Homestead, we will have a chance. And that's my mindset off of those two examples.
And also, you're a big Chevy guy, and you grew up in Southern California and used to watch the 500. What do you think of their announcement they're going back to IndyCar racing?
Wasn't aware of it, but very excited. I've, again, been completely disconnected of things here in recent time, and just happy to hear that the bow tie will be back. And maybe that'll give me a chance to go race there someday.
Okay, we'll finish up at the track. Lee and Jay.
Eli Grasser with PIR Pit Notes. What is the most difficult aspect of racing here at PIR? And then what does it take to set up a fast car here?
I'd say one of the most difficult things is the sun setting. Towards the end of the race when the sun's going down, it's really difficult to see where you're going into turn one. And then from a setup standpoint, it really is a track of compromises. The radius of the turns in 1 and 2 is a lot tighter, and there's a lot more banking than what you have in 3 and 4. There's less banking and a larger radius. And you can't get the car perfect, and you really have to play those compromises against one another.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. How do you remain so calm behind the wheel? I mean, a lot of times, as Chad tries to muffle what he's really feeling, you can kind of hear his voice going an octave or two higher, but you've really, seem to have command of your emotions behind the wheel. And also, if you do win the championship, does your pit crew get the rings? Will they be up on the stage, or is the new pit crew going to, how are you going to work that all out?
From the emotion side of it, I think years of racing has helped me be where I am today and to manage my emotions during the course of a race. I don't do a good job of it all the time, and I can look at some examples through the summer where frustration got to me, and I made mistakes inside the car, and we talked about that. I guess kind of when the chase started would seem to be a popular question and a lot of discussion about it. So I have good days, I have bad days, just like anyone, but it's something I think I've just learned over a period of time, and it also is fitting to say that my personality fits into that as well. As far as the banquet, if we're in that position and we have, we're going to the banquet, just like every other year for the championships we've had, it's all one race team. Everybody goes. Everybody gets rings. Everybody inside that 2448 shop. Really, all of Hendrick Motorsports, it's one unit, and it would be no different this year than it had been any other year.
Jay Howard, Yahoo Sports. I thought it was pretty interesting that you brought up the 2005 race, and if I remember it correctly, I think you might have wanted to pit, and Chad might have wanted to keep you out at that situation. So I'm wondering what you learned, what you took from that incident where you blew the tire and hit the wall and it was done. Did you learn something from that going forward in terms of how to manage the chase, not just the finale, but just the entire chase as a whole that's helped you win, I guess, the last 4?
Yeah, and I maybe haven't felt like that moment in 05 helped me with the last 4 years, but it's in my mind this year that anything can happen in Homestead, and you can't assume people are just going to have great days. We went down there assuming the 20 was going to have a great day. had some discussion on the radio about the tire going down, if it was soft or not, what was really going on. And because we thought the 20 was going to lead all the laps to win the race, we were out of character, and we tried to limp around on a bad tire and caused a problem. So I guess all that together makes me think that, yes, statistics show certain things, but until you go run the race, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's about what happens now and the performance you have now. And if there is trouble, like we had in 2005, you got to get the car fixed, get back on track. Anything can happen. And then the part that I really focus in on is that, if we would have stayed on track and we would have played our game right and put the pressure on the 20 like we needed to, I think there could have been a different outcome. And we blew that opportunity. And I don't want to blow an opportunity going into Homestead or during Homestead. And I don't want to blow an opportunity this weekend. So it falls back on the character of the race team and myself and what got us into this position, and to not change what we're doing and who and what we are. And that's a lesson we learned in 05 and plan on using a lot this year.
I'd like to thank the 2010 Associated Male Athlete of the Year and driver number 48.
Thank you.
Lowe's, Cobalt Tools, Chevrolet, first time, and good luck this week.
Absolutely. Thank you.